Have you ever written a novel or a chapter of a novel, reread it, and felt like you better start Googling how to become a plumber? Or you finished a sculpture, took a few steps away from it, and began second guessing if your hands are actually growing from all the right places. Or perhaps you've listened to your voice on the record and promised yourself, I'm never going to karaoke again, let alone record something in a studio. I've given it a shot, it didn't work. I better leave it to those who know what they're doing, someone more talented or at least more skilled. Familiar thought, isn't it? Sometimes it's the disconnect between what you hoped it would be and what it actually became. Sometimes it's the pre-installed criticism of teachers, parents, or people whose opinion you learn to carry around in your own head. The result? Well, the result is the same. Embarrassment. And why wouldn't be? The sentences you've written don't seem to fit together anymore. The canvas looks like a child had fun with it, and your song sounds like you barely speak the language of its lyrics. But the question is it really any different from those who allegedly know what they're doing? Especially those who found some conventional success in the arts. So imagine, you've been working on something creative, of course, whatever that might be, for a month, perhaps even years, only to discover that it doesn't amount to what you hoped it would. Ideas derivative, composition redundant, execution mediocre. Your first instinct is to jump into the ocean and swim as far as humanly possible until you find an odd cave where you can just stay until your fingers forget how to type, draw, pluck the strings. Because you weren't supposed to produce anything short of perfection. So when you do, naturally, the excuses begin. I was tired, uninspired, or stressed, or eventually it wasn't me at all, and we certainly don't make this any easier on ourselves. We create surrounded by the finished work of art of other people. The books that made it through publishers and editors. The paintings worth putting on a display. The songs polished until every single note sits exactly where it should. Meanwhile, we are sitting there with the first draft, half-finished canvas or recording we made in our bedroom, and wondering why ours doesn't sound or look quite the same. So I ask you again, why wouldn't you be embarrassed by your art? You are comparing something still becoming itself with something already finished, polished, and chosen to be seen. It was never a fair comparison to begin with. Maybe what we need then is a little willingness to look like an idiot, to write something before we know how to write, to paint before our hands quite know what they're doing, to play the wrong notes while somebody might actually be listening, which is quite liberating if you think about it. Far fewer people are watching your awkward beginnings than you imagine. So if you haven't made it yet as an artist, perhaps you have a free pass to be that idiot for a while longer. Starting to dance at 50 can feel embarrassing. Writing a novel without a formal education can feel embarrassing. Posting your first videos on YouTube, you guessed it, it can feel embarrassing. It took me a year of overthinking before I finally wrote my first script and recorded that first video. And 3 months later, I'm still embarrassed. And I've talked to writers, YouTubers, and musicians who make a good living from their art. And every single one of them told me they still kind of embarrassed by what they make, especially by their old work. I've been told it gets kind of better, not the embarrassment part though, you just kind of get better at living with it. And sometimes embarrassment might even be a good sign. Go back and read something you wrote 5 years ago. Look at an old painting or listen to one of your first recordings. Chances are you will find things that make you physically uncomfortable. At least that's what happens to me. But think about what that actually means. The person looking at that work today can see things that the person who created it couldn't. The sentences suddenly sound awkward. The proportions look wrong. The note you were so proud of now makes you reach for the volume button. So maybe the work didn't get worse. Maybe you got better. So perhaps the goal was never to stop being embarrassed. Maybe it's simply to become, comfortable enough with the feeling that it no longer stops you. To be willing to look like that idiot for a while. Make something imperfect, cringe a little, and make the next thing anyway. And I personally fine with my choices. So I invite you to join me. Write that cringy novel, post that lame YouTube video, compose that song that makes you flinch when you hear it. Make something that embarrasses you today, and give yourself a chance to become someone who understands why tomorrow. Thank you for taking a few precious minutes of your time thinking with me. I'm Dan Speer, a writer, educator, and a lifelong student of creativity. If this video left you with a thought or an idea worth carrying into tomorrow, I would love to see you again next week.